From ancient ruins long forgotten to astonishing structures that amaze the entire world, our planet holds countless mysteries yet to be explained. In today's journey, we will explore magnificent places like Machu Picchu, the city in the clouds of the Inca civilization, and Petra, a wonder carved deep into desert cliffs thousands of years ago. Each place carries the mark of once thriving civilizations that mysteriously vanished over time. Especially enigmas like Göbekli Tepe, believed to be the oldest known structure of humankind, and the massive geoglyphs of Nazca lines continue to puzzle scientists to this day. These places are not just destinations, they are stories, secrets, and perhaps fragments of history that humanity has yet to fully understand. And perhaps, after this journey, you will realize that our world is far more mysterious and extraordinary than we have ever imagined. Petra is one of the most breathtaking archaeological cities in the world. Carved into rose-red sandstone cliffs over 2,000 years ago, it was the capital of the Nabatean kingdom. The city flourished as a major trading hub, connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Visitors enter through the narrow canyon called the Sikh, which suddenly opens to reveal the iconic treasury Al-Khazneh. Beyond it lie tombs, temples, and the vast monastery, all sculpted directly into the rock face. Petra is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is often called the Rose City. Walking through its ancient pathways at sunset, as the sandstone glows in deep red and gold, the city feels timeless and awe-inspiring. Tayuna, commonly known as the Lost City, is an ancient archaeological site hidden deep in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta Mountains of northern Colombia. Built by the Tirona civilization around the 8th century, it predates Machu Picchu by several centuries. The city consists of stone terraces, circular plazas, and an intricate network of stairways carved into the mountainside. It was abandoned during the Spanish conquest and remained unknown to the outside world until its rediscovery in the 1970s. Today, visitors reach the site only after a multi-day jungle trek through rivers, rainforest, and indigenous territories. Sigiriya, also known as Lion Rock, is one of Sri Lanka's most remarkable ancient landmarks. Rising nearly 200 meters above the surrounding plains, this massive rock fortress was built in the 5th century by King Kashyapa. At the entrance once stood a colossal lion structure, giving the site its name. Today, only the giant lion's paws remain. The rock walls are adorned with vibrant frescoes of celestial maidens painted with remarkable skill and detail. At the summit lie the ruins of a royal palace, along with panoramic views stretching across jungle and farmland. Sigiriya is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its architectural innovation and cultural importance. Climbing to the top step by step along narrow stairways feels like ascending through layers of history carved into stone. The Nazca Lines are one of the greatest archaeological mysteries in the world. Created between 500 BCE and 500 CE by the Nazca culture, these enormous geoglyphs are etched into the desert floor. They depict animals, plants, geometric shapes, and long, straight lines stretching for kilometers. The designs are best seen from the air, revealing precise forms, such as a hummingbird, a monkey, and a spider. Scholars believe they may have had astronomical, religious, or ceremonial significance. The dry climate of the Nazca Desert has preserved them for centuries. Flying above the vast desert and seeing these immense figures appear beneath you feels surreal, as if ancient hands were speaking across time. Tikal is one of the largest and most powerful cities of the ancient Maya civilization. Located deep within the tropical rainforest of northern Guatemala, it flourished between 200 and 900 CE. The city features towering pyramids, royal palaces, ceremonial plazas, and intricate stone carvings. Temple 1, also known as the Temple of the Great Jaguar, rises dramatically above the jungle canopy. At its peak, Tikal was a political, military, and economic powerhouse in the Maya world. The site is now part of a UNESCO World Heritage designation for both cultural and natural significance. Watching the sunrise from the top of Temple 4 as mist lifts over endless green forest feels like standing at the heart of an ancient world reborn. Göbekli Tepe is considered the world's oldest known monumental temple complex. Dating back to around 9600 BCE, it predates Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids by thousands of years. The site features massive T-shaped limestone pillars arranged in circular enclosures. Many of the pillars are carved with detailed reliefs of animals, such as foxes, snakes, birds, and wild boars. Its construction challenges traditional theories about the origins of civilization, suggesting that ritual gathering may have preceded agriculture. Göbekli Tepe is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its extraordinary archaeological importance. Standing among these ancient pillars, one feels confronted by a deep question. What inspired humanity to build such sacred spaces at the dawn of time? Karahan Tepe is one of the most significant prehistoric archaeological sites discovered in recent decades. Located in southeastern Turkey, near Şanlıurfa, it dates back to around 9000 BCE. The site is part of the same cultural network as Göbekli Tepe and belongs to the pre-pottery Neolithic period. Excavations have revealed large T-shaped stone pillars, carved human figures, and intricate symbolic engravings. One of its most striking features is a circular structure containing upright pillars and sculpted human heads emerging from stone. Karahan Tepe adds new insight into early ritual spaces and the social complexity of prehistoric communities. Standing in this windswept landscape surrounded by silent stone forms, the site feels like a missing chapter in humanity's earliest story. Angkor Wat is the largest religious monument in the world. Built in the early 12th century by King Suryavarman II, it was originally dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu, before gradually becoming a Buddhist temple complex. The temple is designed as a symbolic representation of Mount Meru, the sacred mountain in Hindu cosmology. Its vast layout includes grand galleries, towering spires, and intricate bas-relief carvings depicting epic stories such as the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Surrounded by a massive moat, the structure reflects both architectural mastery and spiritual symbolism. Angkor Wat is part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site and stands as a national symbol of Cambodia. Watching the sun rise behind its iconic towers, mirrored in the still water, feels like witnessing history awaken from stone. Lamanai is one of the longest continuously inhabited Maya cities in Mesoamerica. Located along the banks of the New River Lagoon in northern Belize, it was occupied for more than 3,000 years. Its name means submerged crocodile in the Maya language, reflecting the importance of the nearby lagoon. The site features impressive structures such as the High Temple, the Mask Temple, and the Jaguar Temple. Unlike many Maya cities, Lamani was not completely abandoned after the Spanish arrival and continued to be inhabited into the colonial period. Surrounded by dense jungle and rich wildlife, the ruins blend seamlessly with nature. Climbing to the top of the High Temple and looking out over endless green canopy and shimmering water, the ancient world feels astonishingly alive. Sacsayhuaman is an extraordinary Inca fortress complex overlooking the city of Cusco. Built in the 15th century, it formed part of the defensive and ceremonial system of the Inca capital. The site is famous for its enormous limestone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons. These stones were cut and fitted together with remarkable precision without the use of mortar. Its massive zigzag walls symbolize lightning, a sacred element in Inca cosmology. Sacsayhuaman played a key role during the Spanish conquest, witnessing intense battles in the 16th century. Standing before the towering stone walls, one cannot help but wonder how such monumental engineering was achieved centuries ago. The Yonaguni structures, often called the Yonaguni Monument, lie beneath the waters off Yonaguni Island in Okinawa. Discovered in 1986 by a local diver, the formation features massive stone terraces, sharp angles, and flat surfaces resembling steps and platforms. Some researchers suggest it could be the remains of a prehistoric man-made structure. Others argue it is a natural geological formation, shaped by tectonic activity and erosion. If artificial, it would date back over 10,000 years, predating known advanced civilizations in the region. The debate remains unresolved, making it one of the ocean's most intriguing mysteries. The pyramids of Cochasqui are one of Ecuador's most significant pre-Columbian archaeological sites. Located in the Andes, north of Quito, the complex dates between approximately 950 and 1550 CE. It consists of 15 large truncated pyramids and numerous burial mounds spread across a high plateau. The structures were built by the Kritukara culture using compacted earth rather than stone. Some researchers believe the site also functioned as an astronomical observatory aligned with solstices and equinoxes. Kochaski played a strategic and ceremonial role before the Inca expansion into the region. Standing among the earthen pyramids with Andean peaks in the distance, the landscape feels vast, ancient, and quietly powerful. The Guge Kingdom was an ancient Tibetan kingdom that flourished in western Tibet between the 10th and 17th centuries. Its capital, Tsaparang, was built dramatically into cliffs rising above the Sutlej River valley. The site features fortress ruins, cave dwellings, temples, and intricate Buddhist murals. Guge played a crucial role in the revival of Buddhism in Tibet after a period of decline. In the 17th century, the kingdom mysteriously collapsed, leaving behind abandoned structures carved into the desert landscape. Today, the ruins stand isolated amid high-altitude desert and vast skies. Climbing through the crumbling stairways and silent temples, one senses both spiritual devotion and the fragility of power across time. The Guge Kingdom was an ancient Tibetan kingdom that flourished in western Tibet between the 10th and 17th centuries. Its capital, Tsaparang, was built dramatically into cliffs rising above the Sutlej River valley. The site features fortress ruins, cave dwellings, temples, and intricate Buddhist murals. Guge played a crucial role in the revival of Buddhism in Tibet after a period of decline. In the 17th century, the kingdom mysteriously collapsed, leaving behind abandoned structures carved into the desert landscape. Today, the ruins stand isolated amid high-altitude desert and vast skies. Climbing through the crumbling stairways and silent temples, one senses both spiritual devotion and the fragility of power across time. Nan Madol is one of the most mysterious ancient cities in the Pacific. Built between the 8th and 17th centuries on the eastern shore of Pohnpei, it consists of nearly 100 artificial islets constructed atop a coral reef lagoon. Massive basalt columns were stacked to form walls, temples, and ceremonial structures. The site served as the political and religious center of the Sodelur dynasty. Its construction required transporting enormous stone blocks across water, a feat that continues to puzzle researchers. Often called the Venice of the Pacific, canals run between the islets, connecting the stone complexes. Standing among the ruins, surrounded by ocean and silence, Nan Madol feels like a forgotten kingdom rising from the sea. Machu Picchu is one of the most extraordinary archaeological sites in the world. Built in the 15th century by the Inca civilization, it sits high in the Andes Mountains at about 2,430 meters above sea level. The citadel consists of stone temples, agricultural terraces, plazas, and residential structures, all precisely fitted without mortar. It was abandoned during the Spanish conquest and remained largely unknown to the outside world until 1911. Surrounded by steep green peaks and misty clouds, the site blends seamlessly into the dramatic mountain landscape. Machu Picchu is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is often called the Lost City of the Incas. Standing among the ancient stones at sunrise with clouds drifting through the valleys below, the atmosphere feels both powerful and deeply mysterious. The Leshan giant Buddha is the largest stone Buddha statue in the world. Carved into a red sandstone cliff during the Tang dynasty in the 8th century, it stands about 71 meters tall. The statue depicts Maitreya Buddha seated with hands resting on his knees, facing the confluence of 3 rivers. According to legend, the monk Haitong initiated the project to calm the turbulent waters that endangered passing boats. Today, it is part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, together with Mount Emi. Standing at the foot of the cliff, gazing up at the serene expression carved in stone, one feels a quiet power, immense yet deeply compassionate. We've just journeyed through ancient places filled with mystery and forgotten civilizations. And now, the journey continues in a completely different way. This time, we step into breathtaking towns and hidden gems that still exist in the modern world, yet feel like they belong to another era. Ronda, perched dramatically above a 120-meter limestone gorge, Ronda unfolds like a living balcony suspended between earth and sky. The legendary Puente Nuevo Bridge, completed in 1793 after more than 40 years of construction, binds the city's two halves across El Tajo Canyon. From its stone parapets, whitewashed houses cling to cliffs that plunge almost vertically into shadow far below. For centuries, travelers arriving here spoke first of silence, then of vertigo as wind rises slowly through the narrow chasm. Ernest Hemingway and Orson Welles once described Ronda as one of Spain's most unforgettable landscapes. Lavatetso, hidden deep in the Emerald Valley of Verzasca. Lavatetso appears like a quiet jewel cradled by the Swiss Alps. The famous Ponte di Salti stone bridge, built in the 17th century, arches gracefully across the Verzasca River in two elegant curves. Beneath it, crystal water glows in shades of turquoise so clear that every stone on the riverbed seems suspended in light. In summer, visitors gather on the warm granite rocks, watching the river rush through polished channels carved over thousands of years. Yet the calm beauty hides a quiet power, because the current here can shift suddenly after mountain rains. The village itself remains small and timeless, with fewer than 200 residents living among stone houses and narrow paths. Standing beside the flowing Verzasca, one begins to wonder, when was the last time your own mind felt this clear and quietly alive? Spies rests quietly along the deep blue waters of Lake Thun, where the Swiss Alps descend gently toward the lake like a perfectly painted landscape. At the heart of the town stands the historic Spies Castle, whose stone tower has silently watched over the lake for nearly 1,000 years. Vineyards stretch across the sunny hillside behind the village, creating one of the most harmonious and picturesque lake and mountain views in the Bernese Oberland. From the small harbor, sailboats drift slowly across the mirror-like water, reflecting the sky and distant snow-capped peaks. As evening light settles over the valley, the entire town glows in a warm golden tone that makes time seem to slow down. Yet this calm beauty only highlights the quiet power of the Alps rising all around it. In this balance between water, mountains, and history, Spitz feels like a place where the world gently reminds us to pause. Saint-Symphorien rests quietly along the shores of Lake Geneva, surrounded by the terraced vineyards of Lavaux that have been cultivated for more than 800 years and recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Landscape. The village itself is small, yet every narrow stone lane opens to a breathtaking view of water and mountains. Old red-tiled rooftops cling to the hillside facing the deep blue expanse of Lake Léman, stretching toward the distant Alps. In the late afternoon, golden sunlight pours across the vineyard terraces, turning the entire slope into a soft tapestry of light. From this vantage point, the horizon appears almost seamless, where sky and lake blend together in silence. But the real magic of Saint-Symphorien lies beyond scenery, in the strange sensation that time slows among its centuries-old walls. In that quiet moment, Lake Geneva becomes a vast mirror, reflecting the calm spirit of historic Europe. Maratea stretches along the Tyrrhenian coast of southern Italy, where rugged mountains suddenly fall into the deep blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea. This small town is home to more than 20 historic churches and is often called the city of 44 bell towers, a rare spiritual heritage in the Basilicata region. High above the town, the statue of Cristo Redentore stands on Monte San Biagio at over 600 meters, watching silently over the coastline. As sunset approaches, warm, red light spreads across the sea and turns Maratea into a vast natural stage. Gentle waves echo against the rocky coast, setting the slow rhythm of the Mediterranean evening. If you had to choose, would you keep the powerful sound of the sea or the absolute silence of the sunset over this coast? Rocamadour clings to the vertical limestone cliffs of the Alzou Valley, rising like a historic stone village, slowly climbing into the sky of southern France. From a distance, layered houses and church towers line a cliff nearly 150 meters high, forming a view that immediately captures the attention of travelers. Since the 12th century, Rocamadour has been one of Europe's most important pilgrimage sites, closely connected with the revered statue of the Black Madonna. A historic staircase of 216 stone steps guides visitors upward through moss-covered walls and chapels built directly into the cliff. As evening light touches the rock, the entire village glows in warm gold, resembling a sacred fortress suspended above the valley. The sound of church bells echoes through the canyon and brings a rare moment of silence. In that quiet atmosphere, Rocamadour stands as a timeless symbol of faith and human devotion. Dürnstein rests quietly along the deep blue Danube River, a small village in Austria's Wachau Valley, where history and landscape merge like a scene from an old film. Pastel-colored houses line narrow stone streets, while high above the village stand the ruins of Quenringa Castle, perched nearly 300 meters on the rocky hillside. It was here, in 1192, that England's King Richard the Lionheart was famously imprisoned after returning from the Crusades. From the riverbank, the blue and white tower of Dürnstein Abbey rises gracefully among terraced vineyards covering the slopes of the Wachau Valley. As the sun sets, golden light reflects across the Danube, and the entire village seems to drift slowly through time. A soft wind moves across the vineyards and adds a quiet sense of depth to the landscape. In this moment, Dürnstein feels like a living memory of Europe's medieval past. Porris de Candelaria hides beneath enormous volcanic cliffs on the western coast of La Palma like a secret village carved into the island's rugged shoreline. Small white houses sit under a natural rock dome, nearly 50 meters high, while the Atlantic Ocean continuously crashes against the dark, volcanic coast. The path leading down is a narrow and steep road along the cliff, making the journey feel like entering a place few travelers ever reach. Outside, the ocean roars with restless waves, yet inside lies a surprisingly calm harbor used by local fishermen. This contrast creates a place that feels both wild and strangely peaceful. Standing between the echo of the sea and the shadow of volcanic cliffs, would you truly have the courage to face such raw silence of nature? Morcote rests quietly along the shores of Lake Lugano, a small village in Ticino, where Mediterranean architecture blends with the serene alpine landscape of southern Switzerland. Warm, earth-toned houses cascade gently toward the waterfront, reflecting softly across the deep blue lake in the early morning light. From the lakeside square, an old stone stairway climbs toward the church of Santa Maria del Sasso, perched high above the village. From that hillside vantage point, the entire sweep of Lake Lugano opens like a calm mirror between the surrounding mountains. Palm trees and cypress gardens surround the village, giving Morcote a character rarely found elsewhere in Switzerland. As afternoon light drifts across the lake, the town slowly glows in warm golden tones. In that quiet harmony of water, stone, and mountains, Morcote feels like a place where time moves more gently. Rothenburg ob der Tauber sits high above the green Tauber Valley, a medieval town that feels as if it has stepped directly out of a European history book. Nearly 4 kilometers of ancient stone walls still encircle the town, guarded by towers that have stood since the 14th century. Inside those walls lies a maze of cobbled streets lined with colorful timber-framed houses. At the center stands Marktplatz, a historic square that once thrived as a hub for merchants traveling across medieval trade routes. As evening falls warm, lantern light spills from wooden windows and gives the entire town a magical glow. Walking through Rothenburg at night often feels like stepping onto the set of a living historical film. In that quiet atmosphere, the town reminds visitors that in some corners of Europe, time has not disappeared, it has simply slowed down. Monsanto clings to the granite hillside of central Portugal, a village where massive boulders have become part of everyday architecture. Many houses are built directly between or beneath giant stones, weighing hundreds of tons, creating one of the most unusual landscapes in Europe. Narrow cobbled paths wind through ancient walls and led toward the ruins of a Templar castle standing over 750 meters above sea level. When the wind moves through the enormous rocks, the entire hillside seems to echo with a deep and ancient sound. What makes Monsanto remarkable is how generations of villagers have learned to live with this rugged terrain rather than reshape it. Between stone and sky, Monsanto becomes a powerful reminder that sometimes humanity does not conquer nature, it learns to belong to it. Gujo Hachiman rests quietly among the green mountains of Gifu Prefecture, a small Japanese town where water and tradition shape everyday life. More than 50 clear canals flow gently through its historic streets, fed by natural mountain springs above the valley. For centuries, residents have used this water to wash vegetables, rinse rice, and preserve a lifestyle deeply connected to nature. Overlooking the town stands Gujo Hachiman Castle, first built in the 16th century and still guarding the valley from its forested hilltop. Every summer, the town awakens with the famous Gujo Odori festival that lasts for more than 30 nights. Lantern light reflects across the canals, while music and dance slowly fill the narrow streets. In that atmosphere, Gujo Hachiman feels like a living current of memory, where Japanese tradition continues to flow through generations. Kotor lies deep within the Bay of Kotor in Montenegro, where towering limestone mountains almost embrace the ancient town along the calm Adriatic waters. The city is surrounded by nearly 4.5 kilometers of medieval defensive walls built to protect one of the most important ports in the Balkan region. Inside those walls is a maze of narrow stone alleys, small squares, and historic churches shaped by centuries of Venetian influence. From the base of the town, a stone pathway of more than 1,300 steps climbs toward the San Giovanni fortress at about 260 meters above the bay. From the summit, the Bay of Kotor unfolds like a Mediterranean fjord surrounded by dramatic mountains. As sunset spreads warm light across the red rooftops and quiet harbor, the entire landscape feels almost surreal. If you stood in this ancient city one evening, who would you wish beside you to witness the moment when history and nature meet? Rovinj rises on a small peninsula along Croatia's Adriatic coast, where narrow stone streets spiral up toward the bell tower of St. Euphemia Church, standing nearly 60 meters tall. The town has existed for more than 1,000 years and once served as an important port during centuries of Venetian rule. Colorful pastel houses lean closely together along the waterfront, reflecting softly on the deep blue Adriatic Sea. From afar, Rovinj resembles an oil painting of red rooftops, fishing boats, and the open Mediterranean sky. In the late afternoon, golden sunlight slides across the ancient stone walls and warms the entire town. The scent of sea salt drifts through the narrow alleys as gentle coastal winds move through the harbor. In that quiet moment, Rovinj feels like a place where time flows slowly with the rhythm of the Adriatic waves. Rebo is an ancient mountain village located about 1,100 meters above sea level in the highlands of Flores Island, Indonesia, where clouds often drift across rooftops at sunrise. The village is famous for its 7 traditional cone-shaped houses called Membaruniang, built entirely from wood, bamboo, and dried grass using Manggarai ancestral techniques. Reaching Rebo requires hours of trekking through winding jungle trails and misty mountain slopes. When the fog slowly clears, the entire village appears like a circular sanctuary hidden in a deep green valley. San Miguel de Allende. When dawn touches the neo-Gothic spires of Parroquia, it becomes a living canvas where time pauses in deep, silent reverence. Walking these cobbled streets, the vibrant ochre walls whisper stories, offering a sanctuary for those who spent a lifetime chasing horizons. This highland treasure is officially the best small city in the world, a UNESCO site where 16th century elegance meets a fiery spirit. Yet beneath the mariachi melodies, there lies a tension between modern demands and the soul's primal need for true ancient stillness. For a generation that has seen it all, this place offers the rarest luxury, the permission to stop performing and belong to the golden embrace. Here, the chaos of life dissolves into a peace that reflects the profound wisdom found only within your own experienced heart. Perched like an eagle's nest, 427 meters above the sea, this village is a testament to human resilience against the Riviera's verticality. Climbing paths carved into the cliff The physical effort mirrors an internal ascent toward a higher perspective of life after middle age. At the Jardin Botanique, the sea's vastness makes city worries seem like distant dust, dissolving into the silence of the high, salty air. Here the climb is not a struggle, but a graceful surrender to the overwhelming majesty of a world that has always belonged to the sky. Alberobello lies in the southern Italian region of Puglia and is famous for more than 1,500 limestone cone-shaped houses known as trulli, dating back to the 14th century. The grey stone roofs form a unique architectural landscape unlike almost anywhere else in the world. Thick white walls are built entirely with dry stone, without mortar, using an ancient Mediterranean construction technique. Walking through the narrow alleys feels like entering a village from a fairy tale. In 1996, the Trulli district of Alberobello was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Marsax Lock is an ancient fishing village on the southern coast of Malta, famous for its colorful wooden boats known as lusus filling the harbor. These traditional vessels are often painted in bright red, yellow, and blue, with the Eye of Osiris on the bow, a symbol believed to protect sailors since Phoenician times. Every early morning, fishermen return from the Mediterranean, carrying fresh tuna swordfish and octopus for the village market. Along the waterfront stand small seafood restaurants where visitors taste the ocean only moments after the boats arrive. The village has existed for centuries and still preserves the slow rhythm of a community deeply tied to the sea.